Hello, dear students. Welcome to my science class. So, we were discussing the chapter Physical and Chemical Changes, the sixth chapter of class 7 science book. We have discussed about the different physical changes, then, we have also discussed about the rusting of iron and the chemical changes like burning of magnesium ribbon as well as the reaction of copper sulfate and iron. So today we will study the activity 6.8. So let us see what is the activity. Take about a teaspoonful of vinegar in a test tube, then add a pinch of baking soda to it. What would you hear? A hissing sound and see bubbles of a gas coming out. Pass this gas through freshly prepared lime water as shown in figure 6.5. What happens to the lime water? So first let us see the activity and then we will note down the observations. So students we have to take vinegar. This is vinegar. Now add vinegar to a beaker or a vessel. Then you have to add bicarbonate of soda, that is your baking soda, which is sodium hydrogen carbonate. And as soon as you add bubbles will come out with a hissing sound. So this is the activity. You can see here also lot of bubbles are coming out and you can hear the hissing sound. Now this is a makeshift type of experiment. We will again pour vinegar in the jar and we have inserted this straw like thing in the lid of this jar. Now we are adding baking soda to vinegar and what will happen? After some time carbon dioxide will start producing and through this straw CO2 will come in the glass, and since carbon dioxide is heavier than water it will settle down. Now let us test whether it is carbon dioxide or not. So here matchstick is burning and here the fire extinguished. Again we can test. The matchstick is still burning but here it quickly extinguishes, showing that the gas produced is carbon dioxide. Let us pass the gas produced during this experiment through the lime water. What is lime water? Lime water is, do you know tuna? When tuna is mixed with water, so after some time the clear water that appears above the lime settles down and the water appears above that sediment. This water is called as lime water. So this is lime water. We will repeat again the same experiment and we will pass the gas through this lime water. Let's see what will happen. And then we will add baking soda. For adding baking soda, we will add this tube to it. This is baking soda. Now we will add a pinch of this baking soda in the vinegar, and as we have observed in the previous experiments, gas will be produced. Now we can prove that this gas is carbon dioxide. How? Let us see. Look here, the gas is being produced and it is being collected here in this test tube. In this test tube, lime water is there and slowly it is turning milky in color. So this was the experiment. So students, in the experiment we have seen that vinegar, when reacts with baking soda, vinegar is acetic acid, and when it reacts with baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate, carbon dioxide and other substances are produced. I have proved how this gas is carbon dioxide. Firstly, it extinguishes fire. It does not support burning. So the first experiment was to prove that carbon dioxide does not support burning. We know that carbon dioxide does not support burning, and when we brought a burning flame on it, it extinguished. This proves that it is carbon dioxide. Now further, we can also prove that this is carbon dioxide by passing it through lime water. This was the setup. Here we mixed vinegar and baking soda. The gas was collected because a cork was there, so the gas cannot escape out. So through this tube it passed and it was collected here, and here we have already filled the test tube with lime water and carbon dioxide mixed with lime water, and it turned lime water milky. So what was the chemical reaction? Here in these two test tubes, carbon dioxide plus lime water is calcium hydroxide, forms calcium carbonate, which is CaCO3 plus water. So this was the chemical reaction which occurred in this test tube. So there are two chemical reactions occurring here. In the first test tube, vinegar, that is acetic acid, combined with baking soda. Baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate, and they formed carbon dioxide and other substances. This carbon dioxide escaped from the test tube, from this tube, not the test tube, this tube, and here one more chemical reaction is occurring, because in this test tube lime water was there and lime water reacted with carbon dioxide to produce calcium carbonate, which is white in color. This is calcium carbonate and the formula is CaCO3 and water. So this is an important reaction. You can highlight that point. Now, when carbon dioxide is passed through lime water, calcium carbonate is formed, which makes lime water milky. The turning of lime water into milky is a standard test of carbon dioxide. So this test is a standard test and it proves that the gas which is produced is carbon dioxide. We will use it in chapter 10 to show that air we breathe out is rich in carbon dioxide. So this test, please remember this test, it is an important test because we will use this test in chapter 10, that carbon dioxide turns lime water milky. So in activity 6.6 to 6.8, you saw that in each chain one or more new substances were formed. In activity 6.6, the ashes was the new substance formed when magnesium was burnt in air. So magnesium is Mg, and when we burnt it, it formed magnesium oxide. And then when we dissolved it in water, it formed magnesium hydroxide, and both these are different chemical substances. Then in activity 6.7, the reaction of copper sulfate with iron produced iron sulfate. And this is also a new substance. Copper sulfate is CuSO4. It reacted with iron, that is Fe, and it formed FeSO4, iron sulfate, and copper was deposited on the iron nail. So copper metal was recovered. Both of these are new substances. Copper was deposited on the shaving blade of iron. Now in activity 6.8, vinegar and baking soda together produced carbon dioxide, which turned lime water milky. Can you name the new substance formed in this reaction? Now, can you name the substance which is formed, which turned lime water milky? Yes, it is calcium carbonate. So, a change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change. A chemical change is also called a chemical reaction. So, in any change when a new substance is formed which is different from the previous substance, then that type of change is called as a chemical change. Chemical changes are very important in our lives. All new substances are formed as a result of a chemical change. For example, the digestion of food in our body. We know that after digestion, the complex substances are broken down into simpler ones like um, the glucose or the carbohydrates, the proteins like the amino acids and the fatty acids and glycerol. So all the complex food items are broken down into simpler substances. So it is an example of a chemical change. The ripening of fruits is also an example of chemical change. Fermentation of grapes is also an example of a chemical change. So we can say that a number of chemical changes are occurring all around us. A medicine is the end product of a chain of chemical reactions. So a medicine which you generally consume when you are not well is also a product of a chemical reaction. Useful new materials like plastics and detergents are produced by chemical reactions. Indeed, every new material is discovered by studying chemical changes. So, mostly all around you, you will observe a number of chemical changes, the cooking of food, the digestion of food, the all the products that you use like your soap, the biscuits, the toothpaste that we use, all these products are a result of chemical changes. Now, we have seen that one or more new substances are produced in a chemical change. In addition to new products, the following may accompany a chemical change. So, how can we identify that whether the change is a chemical change or not? So, there are few indicators. Like first is heat, light, or any other radiation which may be given off or absorbed. Heat may be given out or is absorbed, or light is given out. Then we can say that it is a chemical change. Sound may be produced. Sometimes a chemical reaction is accompanied by sound. A change in smell may take place or a new smell may be given off, like in case of cooking of food. Or a color change may take place, like we have seen in case of the copper sulfate to iron sulfate solution. A gas may be formed, like we have just studied this. Carbon dioxide is produced when acetic acid reacts with vinegar. Vinegar, that is acetic acid, reacts with baking soda. Let us look at some more examples. You saw that burning of magnesium ribbon is a chemical change. Burning of coal, wood or leaves is also a chemical change. In fact, burning of any substance is a chemical change. Burning is always accompanied by production of heat. So that is why burning is always a chemical change. Now, explosion of a firework is a chemical change. You know that such an explosion produces heat, light, sound and unpleasant gases that pollute the atmosphere. That is why you are advised not to play with fireworks. So, fireworks, explosion of these fireworks produces, you have seen, and you, most of us sometimes enjoy the sound, the light or the colorful explosions that occur. But they are really very harmful because they produce sound. Sometimes they produce sound which is unpleasant to us or a number of animals, and it produces unpleasant gases. So students, When food gets spoiled, it produces a foul smell. Shall we call this change a chemical change? Can we call this change a chemical change? Yes, because when food gets spoiled, what happens? Some bacteria and fungi starts growing on that food and they produce toxic substances which react with the components of food and may produce a chemical change. It is a chemical change, and in this chemical change, few harmful substances are produced which give foul smell. That is why we should not eat stale food. Now, you must have noticed that a slice of an apple acquires a brown color if it is not consumed immediately. If you have not seen this change in color, cut a fresh slice of apple and keep it away for some time. Repeat the same activity with a slice of potato or brinjal. The change of color in these cases is due to the formation of new substances. Are not these changes chemical changes? So you must have observed, if you have kept a sliced apple or a brinjal or a potato uncovered. So what will you observe? What do you observe? A reddish substance appears, reddish color appears on these fruits and vegetables, and this suggests that it is a chemical change. Now, we have seen neutralization reaction in chapter 5, acid, bases and salts. Is neutralization reaction a chemical change? Yes, of course, because acid and bases mix with each other and they form a salt. So salt is a new substance, and this reaction is a chemical change. So we have studied a lot of chemical reactions and chemical changes. Now there's a blue box in your book about the ozone layer. You must have heard of the ozone layer in our atmosphere. It protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiations which come from the sun. Ozone absorbs these radiations and breaks down to oxygen. Oxygen is different from ozone. Can we call the breaking down of ozone a chemical change? If ultraviolet radiations were not absorbed by ozone, it would reach the Earth's surface and cause harm to us and other life forms. Ozone acts as a natural shield against this radiation. So, conversion of ozone to oxygen. Ozone is O3. Three molecules of oxygen combine to form ozone, while the air that we breathe in is also oxygen, but it is O2. Two molecules of oxygen combine to form the life-saving oxygen, that is O2. So what do you call conversion of ozone to oxygen? Is it a chemical change or not? Yes, it is a chemical change because oxygen is a different chemical compound while ozone is a different chemical compound, although both are made up out of oxygen atom. In higher classes, you will study about the different elements, compounds, and what is an atom and what is a molecule. So let us see what ozone is. So this is our atmosphere, and it consists of the different layers like this: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. And in this stratosphere lies this ozone. This is the ozone layer, which is in the stratosphere of our atmosphere. Now this ozone layer, this is O3. Three molecules of oxygen, they combine to form ozone layer, and this ozone is present in the stratosphere, and it does not allows the UV rays to come to pass through it. There are a number of other gases that you have seen, but this oxygen ozone is responsible for the protection from the ultraviolet rays. These are the ultraviolet rays and they cannot enter the atmosphere, and these ultraviolet rays are reason for skin cancer, blindness and weak immune system. But slowly what is happening, this is our earth, and because of some chemical compounds this ozone shield is depleting. There are compounds like chlorofluorocarbons and some gases which uh, reduce this ozone, and above Antarctica it is reduced by 70%, and this depletion is called as ozone hole. So we can say that ozone is a natural shield against the ultraviolet radiation which are very harmful. Now we learned in chapter 1 that plants produce their food by a process called photosynthesis. Can we call photosynthesis a chemical change? Can we call it a chemical change? Yes, because different substances like carbon dioxide and water, they are combining to form carbohydrates and oxygen. So new chemicals are being produced, so it is a chemical change. And what about digestion? Is digestion a chemical change? Yes, because complex substances are broken down into simpler forms like amino acids, glucose and fatty acids and glycerol. These are the different simpler substances which are produced from the different complex food items. Now the next topic is rusting of iron. This topic I'll cover in my next part. So till then, thank you students.